Hey historians, here is the project instruction video for the Monument Project. Now up here, I know it says History 132. This is the same assignment for History 131 and History 132. So if you're watching the video in History 131, don't worry, the instructions are the same. It's just the time period that you're working with that will be different. So let's go over these instructions, and then of course after you've watched this video and read over the instructions, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions, because this is one of two project options for this semester. This is your monument/memorial design project option. So some of the goals, you're going to historically contextualize past and contemporary issues, examine meaningful events and traditions, invite diverse perspectives, and share your work with classmates. So this project promotes what many refer to as monument literacy. So monument literacy is the ability to critique or critically contextualize monuments. So evaluate the original purposes and intentions of historical monuments at the time of conception and erection, and their relationship to the values of the past and the present. Because remember, monuments and memorials are not natural history items, right? They're not, like the Grand Canyon, that's a relic of natural history, right? It's this thing that was just naturally formed in the land. It's this beautiful, natural feature. It is a part of natural history. Monuments are not neutral creations. They're not natural creations. They can tell us about the past, but they can also reveal as much or more about the communities that paid for and created them. So in that sense, the monument landscape is a living landscape. It shifts according to changing values and re-evaluation of past events. So by planning your own monument design and composing a statement of the monument's purpose and significance, you will become acutely aware of the intentional decisions and considerations that individuals years removed from an event have played and continue to play in selecting events or individuals to be celebrated or somberly remembered. So that's the premise for, why this project matters, and, this way that you're going to do history by creating your own memorial or monument. So the first step is going to be looking at existing monuments and memorials. Now, I don't think I'm not going to really give you like a set number, but I would strongly suggest you look at least 3. And I would look at different types of monuments, different events or different people, to kind of give you a more comprehensive idea of the purpose of a lot of these monuments. So for this, don't just look at Google Images, right? Look up a specific monument. Learn about it, find out when, why, and how these monuments were constructed. What is the significance or representation of these monuments? So remember that there are different kinds of monuments and memorials, right? They're not all going to be just statues. And some of them were built generations after the events they commemorate. So the example I've included in here is the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. that was dedicated in 2004. So that's nearly 60 years after the end of the war. It's 2 generations. To honor those who served in the United States Armed Forces during that war. So the designer didn't make a building or a statue. Instead, it's like a park. If you've ever been there, it's like this circular thing that's got all these different columns and these like bronze sculptures. They almost look like big kind of circles on the columns. And then there are fountains and there's a rainbow pool. So your idea, whatever event or person that you want to commemorate, it doesn't have to be a statue. It can be a memorial type design like that. It does not have to be just one statue of a person. It can be, and that's fine. Maybe that person's holding something or doing something that showcases, who they were, or, something significant about them, but it does not have to be that. So after you've researched, hopefully at least 3 different monuments and memorials to kind of learn more about when they were built, why they were built, kind of what their purpose is, then the second step is to Select a significant historical moment, event, or person from our semester's timeline. Okay, so it has to be something that happened over the course of our semester's timeline. And then you will pick something, and then you'll commemorate it and plan designs for a monument. So the way you're going to do that is through researching primary sources, and you can use our Voices of Freedom primary documents and any primary documents on Blackboard that apply as well, but you also do need to do some research. History Study Center has primary documents, as you know, and there are some other places where you can find those. You can always reach out to me if you need help, or to the library staff, and they can help you too. So you're going to research some primary sources, so things people wrote about this person, or things this person wrote, or about this event or this moment, or artifacts or anything like that from the specific thing that you want to commemorate. And you're going to look at those primary sources, and you're going to compose a visitor pamphlet. This is basically what you're going to present. It's going to be like a digital version, so it can be PowerPoint slides. If you're like super tech savvy and fancy, it can be a pamphlet that unfolds or whatever on a computer. I don't even know how to do that, but I'm sure some of you might. So your pamphlet will include a statement on the monument's purpose and significance. This is not going to be just one sentence, like, this monument is honoring so-and-so. Like, that's not enough to tell me what the monument's purpose and significance is. And as you will see, as you look at these monuments in your research, there's, the design, the significance, what they are there to do, what the design is there to do, you will see that your statement of purpose and significance is not just going to be one sentence. So you'll share your design schematics and your visitor pamphlets during your presentations. So in this sense, the class will visit your monument. So when you present it, it's like we're visiting your monument. So keep that in mind as you compose your digital pamphlet. So then the next step is going to be designing your monument. This can be, a simple sketch. It can be a description using existing images. Like if you have, if there's a portrait of a person that you're going to use, and then maybe, like an arch, a picture of an arch or a picture of a gate, depending on what kind of structure you're going to have. You can put those things next to each other on a slide and then describe for us what that looks like. So you don't have to create anything. If you can find images that match up your general idea and then tell us about it, that works, but you need to put some thought into it and have some sort of design to show us. So it can be a sketch, it can be a description using existing images of objects or portraits of figures from history, or if you're super tech savvy, it can be a more complex design. You can render something three-dimensionally and show it to us. It just depends on what you want to do. The main focus of this part of the assignment is that you need to be able to clearly explain, describe, and show what your monument will look like. Is there any significance to your design? So think back to the designs of the memorials and the monuments you researched in step 1. If you look at that World War II memorial, what is the design, what's the significance of that circular shape? What is the significance of the rainbow pool? So you can include information on design either in this step or, in your digital pamphlet as you talk about the monument itself and its purpose. So it just depends on how it fits in. Your presentation will be about 5 to 7 minutes. The classmates who are providing feedback, and I will remind everyone when we start presentations, classmates need to think about what is appropriate in the portrayal of the past and what counts as responsible representation of the past. Because in your research, friends, as you look at memorials and monuments, you may find some things that might be considered irresponsible representation of the past, things that, maybe glorify things that that didn't necessarily happen the way that the monument or memorial suggests. Or maybe the person that it's commemorating maybe isn't all that great, or maybe, they're greater than they're given credit for. So so responsible representation is really going to be what classmates are going to be thinking about as you present. So just keep that in mind as well. So that is the Monument and Memorial Design Project. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm sure you will have questions as we begin to look at designs and different monuments that exist. We are going to have a workshop for this project in class virtually. So, you know, I'll be there to answer questions. I am absolutely happy to do that. And so I can look at anything that you've been working on, all that good stuff. So please feel free to reach out as you're working on this. Do not wait until the last minute. You know, you guys, we're going to talk about this a month before it's due. It's available from day one. I mentioned it in the syllabus tour video. So be sure that you're looking at this and doing some work on it for a number of weeks before it's due. All right. Please be sure to contact me with any questions, okay?